Hi folks, this is Andy from the Cup. Sorry I got that wrong. Hiya Groupsters. That was just for Charlotte. Hiya Groupsters, this is Andy from the Car Boutique, and next. Hiya Groupsters, this is Andy from the Car Boutique and another accessory review. Okay, this time we'll be looking at the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro version 2. So an upgrade from their V1, which are very, very popular, and they've made some important improvements that we're going to discuss and then ultimately going to test on a car, which we'll be looking at later. Okay, this one has been sent direct from manufacturer, so I have not paid for this, but as always we will make a independent and fair assessment of the snow foam cannon, just like we did all 6 that we did when we did our battle of the foam cannon review. So a quick look at it, we'll discuss a few things, a few design features. I'll introduce you to the sort of improvements, and then we'll go out, have a play on the car, and sort of see if they're all true. All right, so it comes in a very, very nice sturdy box, which is foam lined. All right, which is nice. I've taken everything out of the box already just so I can get to it quicker. All right, which is good. It gives you the instructions how to use. All right, lots and lots of additional information about which pressure washer you're using, what the sort of output in terms of bar and PSI, recommendations for which orifice to use and all that kind of stuff. And indeed, it comes with a good bit of information. All right, and you'll get that as part of the snow foam cannon. So, quick look at what you get inside. So the first sort of bit you get is the tube which connects to the bottom, which is ultimately then where the sort of solution is going to be sucked up, and you get this metal, quite a heavy metal ball in it. And what that is about, okay, is no matter where sort of the elevation of your bottle, whether you're like this, sort of doing the underside of the car or the roof, etc., the ball will always go down to the bottom. So if you've got your cannon on the side like this, the ball will go there because it will still suck up the solution. Or if you've got it like this, the ball will always go to the lowest point. Therefore, irrespective of the elevation of your cannon, you'll still get foam output, which is a nice touch. Seen that on a few snow foam cannons, and I'm pleased to see it on this one. You also get an extra nozzle, that's the 1.1. I believe the actual cannon comes with a fitted 1.25mm orifice, and it's so easy to change. You can quite clearly see, all right, the orifice has got a slot in it. You just put a flat blade screwdriver in, remove it, and fit your new one. And the instructions for use tell you as to what the output of your pressure washer. They make a recommendation on which orifice to use, but you can have a play. You can have a play around, all right, and see which one works best for you. It's also got 3 spare filters on it. It's nice and easy to change the filter. You just take apart the actual central brass fitting. It's really, really simple, not like the olden days where you had to sort of undo everything and PTFE tape and all that kind of stuff. Nice and easy, so that's a good improvement as well. There's a few other sort of red sort of bungs there to do with the actual cap. All right, so it will still vent off, but also it's a waterproof cap, and we're going to test that claim out. So when it's full and you start doing all this, nothing is going to leak out like some. You do find some snow foam cannons, they've got the holes in them, just a basic hole. When you do that, the liquid pours out. The manufacturers claim that this is a watertight bottle, so it's not going to all pour out. We'll check that one out as well. You also get whatever fitting you're going to be using. I've got obviously the quick release guns, so I made them aware of that, and they sent me the correct sort of adapter. And it's simply a screw-on thread, and I'll show you all this in a minute. They claim that you don't need PTFE. It's almost like a click and screw configuration, so you're just going to attach it on, and that's it. It sort of self seals itself, and we're going to look at that claim as well, because there's nothing worse than screwing something on. You go to use it and there's sort of liquid leaking all over the place. You have to disconnect it, get PTFE tape, which is a Norse, screw it all on. They claim you're not going to need to do that, which is really, really good. So you get those two. You also get this bottle, very, very thick plastic with the actual logo, and it's sort of embossed into the plastic, so it's not just a sticker. Right, super wide bottom. I mean, that's probably one of the widest I've seen, and a super big orifice to allow you to easily pour your water in and your foam solution, which is really good. Something else we like, and we talked about this when we did our Battle of the Snow Foam cannons, was an actual grading at the side. It's nice and clear. It goes from 0 to 1,000 millilitres, so you probably be able to get about 1,200 millilitres in this, clearly allowing you to measure your, I don't know, 100 millilitres of snow foam fluid and then top up to a litre or whatever sort of mix you're using. All right, and like I say, a nice wide base, so hopefully even when it's full, okay, it's going to be quite stable and reduce the chances of you knocking it over. The business end, it looks very similar to the version 1. It's got a slightly elongated sort of nozzle. So what can I tell you about this? Full brass fittings. All right, it's not sort of partial brass and then sort of plastic. It's got very nicely engraved MJJC embossed actually into the brass fitting itself. We've already discussed a super wide cap, and we discussed this when we did our Battle of the Snow Foam cannons, that some have the sort of landscape portrait function, some do not. This one does, so it allows you to turn that sort of foam pattern from a sort of portrait to a landscape, depending the size of the vehicle or what you're doing. And of course, it's got the actual sort of spread pattern as well. Very, very good quality. It's smooth. I don't like these ones that have got sort of notches in them. Nice and sort of equal response. There's no sort of dead spots. There's no sort of restrictive spots, which is good, which is going to enable us to use this better. Nice strong foam mix adapter at the top. Brass fittings, really, really good chunky bit of kit. And you'd expect this. So prices as of sort of September 2021 is around about between 40 and 50 pounds. So it's it's by no means the most expensive. You can get some cannons at around about £100 mark. All right, so it's on the slightly more expensive side. So you'd expect a premium product. All right, you'd expect the design features. You'd expect the robust construction. You'd expect all the design features like the portrait landscape. It's not going to leak, the wide base, the wide sort of opening at the top to facilitate you pouring your liquids in, an easy connector, so you're not having to use PTFE tape, spares like filters and extra orifices, little design features like the weighted bottom of the straw. So when you are doing this, you're not going to sort of go from foam to no foam. You'd expect that stuff. Instructions, great packaging. So all the good signs are there, but we're going to have to go and have a play. So I'm just going to play a bit of music, show me putting it together, which will clearly take seconds. Then we're going to go outside, we're going to test all the claims, all right, and see how good this snow foam cannon is. So let's put it together. Hi guys, so we come outside, so really, really nice and stable. It seems the more you put in, the more stable it is. It's the wider base, it lowers that center of gravity, so really, really is nice and stable. We're using, just for information, the Clay Cloth Company's quick release trigger gun. We're using a Karcher K4, and the snow foam fluid we're using is Alien Magic's Blue. Firstly, it's an excellent snow foam. Secondly, we're doing it on a white car, so white foam on a white car isn't going to give you a good idea as to thickness of the foam. So by using the blue snow foam, okay, you're going to see that differential between the blue and the white, and hopefully give you an idea of how thick the foam is. Now, the manufacturers do say that the technology in this is going to give 30% more foam. Okay, the actual mechanics of this snow foam facilitate more foam, so that's good if you've got a lower pressure pressure washer, i.e. a K2 as opposed to my K4. It may compensate for that. So it'll be interesting to see how I evaluate the output. I use a lot of snow foams. I know the general output of a snow foam cannon. I'll be open and honest as to whether this does produce more. I'm using the same sort of normal ratio of one part snow foam fluid to 9 parts water. All right, and the blue will hopefully show you how good or bad it is. So that's one of the tests we're going to do. So waterproof, okay, or leak proof. Well, let's have a look. You're clearly going to see blue coming out of it. So just some coming out because I've already used the foam cannon. So in terms of the cap, absolutely nothing, which is good. Okay, so that's the first little test. So we'll have a play with it. I'm going to keep the video running. I'll sort of start and stop the pressure wash, have a talk of it, tell you what we're looking at, do some zooming in and all that kind of stuff. Then we've sort of assessed the full functionality. I'll snow foam the whole car and carry on cleaning my car. Okay, so we're going to give this a good test. We'll do all our normal tests and see how we get on. So just get the flow going. So just adjusting. So as you can see, it actually goes 360. So some just sort of do the landscape and portrait. It'll just keep going on this one. Okay, so that's the landscape where you can go up and down. Portrait. Sort of left to right, which is good. So we can go from a fine beam to a really wide beam, nice and linear. Look at the adjustments, so that should just be almost water. And we're just going to gently ramp it up to see the actual reaction on the mix. Right, that's really good actually, because when we did our main review of snow foam cannons, we found that some of it glitchy. They go from water to full. This has got a nice sweep, and you could just, if you look back, you can see that generating progressively. So you can actually tune it to how much foam you actually want. So I like full foam, which is good. Now what I haven't noticed, it goes through the foam quite a lot. Okay, so it is a super foamer. I'll do this side and then we'll zoom in and see the results of the actual foam. Tip it on its side, see if it still foams. Which it does. So a quick zoom in. That is super foam. Now this is what I like. Now bearing in mind I used low concentration of 100 milliliters to 900 of water. That is what you want. The whole idea of snow foam is to soften the dirt, encapsulate it, loiter enough time to soften and do that work, and then drip off. And you can quite clearly see it's not running off like water. There's big globules of thick foam there. Let's say it's good loiter time. You can see how it's just absorbing where I've swiped. Nice, thick, in fact very thick foam. Now I can't sort of substantiate the 30% more, but using this the same concentration in other snow foam cannons, I get excellent results. But I would say, looking at the big globules there, there's definitely a thicker consistency than a lot of cannons using the same trigger, the same cartridge, the same mix. Which is good. Right, I'm just going to have another play, have a bit of a freestyle, and then we'll have a chat. Hi folks, so we've come in just for the traditional wrap up. So what does Andrew think of the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro? Well, we usually try and do pros and cons. There is a lot of pros. It'd be interesting to see how this would have fared up against our battle of the 6 other snow foam cannons. I would argue it would be up there with the best of them. The design, very, very good design. It feels quality. It's built to last. Okay, and that's what we want. You know, when you're spending £40–50, you expect something to last a long time. Very, very good construction. The bottle, the lid, the actual mechanism is fantastic. No leaks coming from this whatsoever, and it is literally just a question of screwing it on and screwing it off. Okay, no need for PTFE. It connects well. It's balanced well. The controls are linear, okay, and responsive. So you've got the landscape, the portrait, and a good fan pattern adjustment. That was probably one of the best bits. Okay, it was directly responsive, so there wasn't, you know, it didn't go from just water to full foam, right? You could really play around and adjust it to what you want. Okay, and the output is unbelievable on this one. If you're one of these people that like to spend hours snow foaming your car, probably not the one for you. This is a bit of an animal. It's a bit of a workhorse. It gets super thick foam on your car very, very quickly. As a result of that, I suppose it could be argued as a pro or a con. It does go through your foam really quickly. Okay, now in terms of adjustment, clearly you can adjust that and alter your mix. Now looking sort of into it, they do say it produces 30% more foam than I think the version 1. Having not used the version 1, I can't make the comparison, but in terms of the normal mix, full foam in comparison to other ones, it is probably one of the most foamiest snow foam cannons in terms of output I have used. Okay, so really good. What I might be doing in future, because I don't like them super foamy, I might knock the concentration down even further to about, I don't know, 50 millilitres of product and top up to a litre. So you're getting economy there. There's something going on in the mechanics, which is an improvement on a lot of snow foams, whereby it seems to mix super rich foam for less foam liquid. All right, so that is a very good pro for this snow foam cannon. I love it. I sort of stick to 1 or 2 of the top ones that came in our battle of the 6 snow foam cannons. This is going right into the mix as well. I absolutely love it. So that's me being fair and honest. Thank you very much for MJJC for sending this direct for analysis. There was no agenda. They just said, can you do a review? They like what we do. So hopefully we've done it justice, and a really good product. Interesting to see what their version 3 is going to be. Okay, but that's for looking forward into the future. So thank you very much. I'll put a link to some of the UK distributors of this. I'll use ones that I've used in terms of suppliers before that I recommend for good service as well. So if they're linked there, that's our endorsement for the companies that I list. But clearly shop around. and see if your supplier sells this. You cannot go wrong with this. This is an investment. It's going to do really, really good. And it's one of those show ones. Okay, it's coloured snow foam, super foam, get the neighbours talking and all that kind of stuff. Or if you're a business owner, in terms of efficiency and time, you will not go wrong with this bad boy, as I say. So comments welcome below. Okay, and we'll see you on the Car Boutique for the next video review. So take care.